Testing. Hotel. All right, Miss Lynn, how are you today?
I am well.
Excellent, as always. All right. So I am going to put up a familiar term that we are familiar with, but let me see if I can get it first. How about that? All right. Good morning, everyone. We are here today. At the end of the day, most of you know we have been reading a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And as you see on the screen today, can you see the screen, Miss Lynn?
No,
You don't see anything on the screen, huh?
no. Let me see if I have to adjust my equipment here. Mm,
It said it was sharing.
Okay, hold on, but I'm doing sidecar. Okay,
Oh,
I
you
see
see?
it.
Okay, good.
Yes, I do.
All right. So say good morning to the folks today while we give them some information today. And I think me and you are going to start our own channel just because we have these little slight sidecar conversations, as you say, you are on sidecar. And I just think this would be a brilliant way of giving back. So at the end of the day, we have to give back. Are you with it? How you feel about that?
Sounds good. You like it? I love it.
I know that's right, but understanding is even better. So The question to you today, when we read this, before we read this, if somebody said to you, you're an Indian giver, how did that make you feel when they told you you were an Indian giver? This is something that, on your level of when you learned about what an Indian giver, you're an Indian giver.
Oh, my memory as a child was it wasn't a good thing to be called.
It
And
wasn't.
I thought it meant, yeah, and I thought it meant like I wasn't sharing. Like you were only called the Indian giver when you took back something that you gave.
Hmm.
And when you think about it, you gave it like, here, I want you to have it, like a gift.
Okay.
That's key.
Okay. So today we were reading our book and we came up on our next one of the, I want to say, is this the lessons he's talking about? Seven? Are these lessons he's teaching us here when we read Rich Dad Poor Dad? And guys, if you haven't read it, you might want to pick this one up. This is a very good read, as you will be hearing me say things periodically. And I thought this is worth giving today. Okay? Please leave your comment after this and share it with someone else. Because in the back of the book, they always say share the information. So we're going to share this information. So, Miss Lynn, it says, what does that mean, Indian giver? What does that mean? And at the end of the day, we hear things like we hear it, and then a lot of us think we know it because of what we heard. And then we even have levels of experience with it. Have you ever experienced an Indian giver, Deidre Lynn?
Yes.
Somebody gave you something and they want to take it back.
Or I may have been to somebody and I gave something and took it back. It was so long ago. I'm not 29 anymore, so my memory fails me.
Okay, but look at this, guys. It says right here, being an Indian giver, there's power of getting something for nothing. Something for nothing. So you know me. We started reading it, right? And
Hmm.
as we started reading it, Deidre Lynn, what was your takeaway today? Or what does that mean?
Well, for me, just reading that caption like that,
Yes.
I'm like, maybe I should check the actual definition of an Indian giver.
Mm, mm,
Okay, because coming up, it had a negative connotation.
mm-hmm.
And that being the case, he's that statement there is directly challenging my blueprint or what I thought to
Yes,
be true.
yes, yes.
So something said, you might want to stop and look that up.
Hmm.
And so I did.
So was that like and like watch when you looked it up, and these are what we call, ladies and gentlemen, we call them aha moments, because you got a better understanding, or a moment when you got you got a chill or something to verify it. And that's coming from somewhere. And we know where that one comes from, right? When you get that
Goosebumps.
chill, the goosebumps, like I think one day I would look that up. Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Do goose
So
get people bumps?
I don't know. I've never been a goose, but I am a
Just
person.
saying.
Okay. So you looked it up and it was an aha moment for you.
Yes, actually, it was.
And what was your biggest takeaway today after reading and hearing this as far as your income is concerned?
So Robert says that you want to be an Indian giver and the power of getting something for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I knew the definition or what I thought was an Indian giver, and it doesn't reconcile with Robert's statement. So that's again why I decided, you know what, let me actually look up the terminology of Indian giver to see what it is and where it came from, and then how it applies to what Robert is saying.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I thought as a child, somebody gave you something and took it back.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we normally give? We give gifts. And when you
Mm-hmm.
give a gift to someone, it is your understanding that it's a gift. There's no strings attached, right? So when I read the definition of an Indian giver and saw the confusion that's
Mm-hmm.
been behind that term, then it all kind of fell into place and made sense. So let's see, what I want to share is that the term comes from from cultural misunderstandings between European colonists and indigenous people during the early days of European settlement in North America. And the European colonists believed that it was, and this is important, an exchange of items as a gift. They believed that it was a gift. So
Mm.
that's very key. And because the European settlers came from a monetary economy and didn't understand bartering,
Mm.
okay, that wasn't part of their blueprint. That wasn't part of how they were raised or exposed, that you barter, okay, which is important. They knew about giving gifts, but they did not know about bartering. And the indigenous people or Indians saw the exchange as a form of trade or equal exchange. Notice that the word gift is not used there.
Mm.
And expected something in return. So there was an expectation.
Oh, wait a minute. You said what? Now they're what?
They expected
Mm-hmm.
something in return. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you barter, that's what you do.
Absolutely.
So, and there lies the misunderstanding.
Be-
The Indians term, the Indians customs or the indigenous people custom was not to give gifts just to give gifts and
wow.
with no strings attached. But they did understand and practice bartering, where I give you something and you give me something in return. Okay, so now you have two different mindsets.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the misunderstanding started,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So now I'm like, how does that apply, to finances? So if I'm going to invest in something,
Mm.
I'm going to give you my money in exchange for what?
Mm-hmm. What am I getting
Okay,
out of
a
this? What are you?
return,
A
a
return?
return on my investment.
Wow. Wow.
And the
Wow.
Indian giving or the taking back came from the aspect that the Indian gave you something. The Indian gave you a blanket because the settlers were cold. So let's say you were a settler. You're fresh off the boat from England and it is cold. And the Indians looked at you like sized you up. They probably look cold. They look like they're cold. We're gonna give them a blanket and see if we get see what they got to trade. That's their mindset. So they came and gave you the blanket, and you were thankful because what? You were cold and you thought it was a gift. So you took the blanket and what? You took the blanket and bounced.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. So did you go back and think, oh, wait a minute, we're trading or that this is a barter? You didn't know what a barter was. So let me go through my stuff to see what the Indian might like.
Now,
So that part of the transaction never took place. So the Indian is like, okay, these guys don't get it. So what? They
back.
took
Oh my God. That's good. That is so good because you mentioned the word just now. You say they're trading. They're trading.
mm-hmm.
How does that constitute and power of being an Indian giver? Like right now, when you give, you're expecting. When there are like a lot of people, they miss it. They really miss it because you're giving and giving and giving, and all you're thinking is giving and giving and giving, and that's where we're stuck
Think
until.
about
Mm,
when we were younger, when we were kids. Did
hmm
you ever trade your lunch in school?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you just give it or
No,
did you look to
I
see what you
yeah.
got?
What you got? Right, right. That,
Now, what would keep you or what would make you not trade with that person?
mm, mm, mm,
Because you
mm.
felt as though you wasn't getting something of equal value. I'm giving you chocolate and all you got is a now and later. Okay.
Wow.
So at an early age, we were that mindset of giving something for something. It is there. It was there, right?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And if I didn't give you something which you thought was of equal value, would you continue to trade your lunch with me? The next day, you're looking for somebody else. You're looking for what? The bigger, better deal.
So think about that whole thing, the concept, and how that can grow you. Just by this statement alone, what does it mean to be an Indian giver? For many of us, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. How many people would ever think at the end of the day this can change your whole money blueprint? And if it changes your blueprint, it automatically gonna change the way you receive, the way you expect, the way you give. Am I making sense here? Because you could build a whole community just around reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
Because your heart, this is your heart. Are you a giver? Are you a giver? And it automatically sets it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get back. He says, focus. So, ladies and gentlemen, all I can say is thank you, Deidre Lynn, for
Well, just
joining
know
our.
that being an Indian giver is not a bad thing.
It's not.
You want to look for a return. You want to look for what you're going to get in return. I mean, especially in a business aspect. I mean, if you want to give without uh, thought of what you're getting back, what do they call that? You could be a philanthropist. But if you're conducting business, you want to know that you're going to get a return on your investment.
Wow. I learned something today, babe. I learned it because at the end of the day, when you really understand this whole philosophy of reciprocity, Do you know how many people really didn't understand it? I really started to get a better understanding of it today just by understanding the power of being an Indian giver.
Right. I mean, and I think we do it to an extent, but sometimes we do it unconsciously
Yes,
sometimes.
and that's
You
bad
know,
sometimes. That gets you in
and
trouble.
but just think about it if you do it with intention.
Woo.
I'm a partner up with you
Mm-hmm.
because you
Mm-hmm.
have some resources that I might find useful. And are there anything, or is there anything that I do or have resources that you could use?
That's good. That's so good, man. That is
And it
so
doesn't
good.
always have to be money, it could be time. I might have a valuable connection. I may have a valuable network.
Whoa. Whoa.
You just and that's where the intentionality is gonna come in. Like I know that like it could be something just simple because sometimes you have to understand something on a smaller level to understand it on a bigger level. Like you know that I cook, you know that I'm a baker. Okay. And if you wanted a cake, you really want a pineapple upside down cake, but you don't have money to pay me for a pineapple upside down cake. Okay,
Wow.
so what are you going to do? Sit in the corner and just wish you had a pineapple upside
Mm.
down cake? Or are you going to come to me? You have a network. You have a network of people. You have a network of people who like pineapple upside down cake.
Mm-hmm.
So your proposal to me is like, hey, how about if you bake one of your pineapple upside down cakes? You can gift it to me and I'm going to pass it around to my friends or whatever. And then they're going to call you and want you to make a pineapple upside down cake. So we're bartering.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm giving you the product and I'm giving you the product because I'm like, he's going to tell his friends and family. Then that
Mm.
means a bunch of pineapple upside down cake orders.
Whoa.
So for me,
Whoa.
I already see the return.
Mm-mm. Oh, that's big.
Okay. And for you, your initial driving force was you just wanted a piece of pineapple upside
I
down cake.
just wanted to. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But after thinking about, wait a minute, I'm going to expose her to my network and she's going to make money off of the people that I've introduced her to. So now you want what? A piece of the action.
Whew. Oh my God. OMG. Well, thank you very much, Deidre Lynn. Every morning we come to our wonderful LCA book study, as we like to say, our book club, and we learn from people who have come before us, right? And we learn from people who are with us in our network.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say thank you today for giving that little bit because somebody is going to want to hear about what we just gave. How about that?
Well, you know, they say you should learn something new every day. And that was something new that I learned today about the true origin of that word, Indian giver. And
Wow.
now, do I think it's something bad to say? No, it can be
No.
a badge of honor. It's all in how you look at it.
Amen. So we want to see y'all tomorrow morning. First of all, we're going to ask you to go ahead and leave a comment based on the conversation we're having. And please don't forget at the end of the day to like, subscribe, and what? Share. It's only a philosophy, right? Share the content with your kids or have a conversation to make this world a better place than what we do. God bless.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
Goodbye.
right.
Till
Bye
next
bye.
time.
Till next time. Bye bye. James. Hold on.